The origin and mythos of Borr. Borr was Bri's son and namesake. Borr was the husband of Besla and the father of Odin. Vili and Vili was the daughter of Borr and Besla. Both the Poetic Edda, which Snorri Sturluson of Iceland wrote in the 13th century from older traditional sources, and the Prose Edda contain poems that mention Borr. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are going to talk about the origin and mythos of Borr. Before we get started with the video, don't forget to smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get started. We are going to investigate the part that Borr plays in Norse mythology, as well as his relationship with his sons and the other gods and the myths and stories that surround him. Norse mythology is an example of a mythology that has managed to captivate people for many centuries. It is a compilation of tales and lore that has its roots in Scandinavia and has been handed down from generation to generation. Borr is said to be the originator of life as well as the stories that surround it, making him an important figure in Norse mythology. Their legends have been passed down from generation to generation for hundreds of years, despite the fact that there is no hard proof to back up the existence of Borr or any of the other Norse gods. Before being committed to writing, the tales of the Norse gods were told from generation to generation verbally, as is the case with many other myths. The stories told about Borr and his sons Odin, Vili, and Vili have served as motivation for a variety of creative endeavors, including those involving the written word, the visual arts, and the motion picture industry. Borr's origins and role in Norse mythology. You are undoubtedly curious about the origin of this great figure as well as the specific actions they took throughout the stories. First things first, allow me to fill you in on the history of Borr and his vital place in the story. Borr was one of the first beings in Norse mythology and was the son of Buri, who was also one of the first beings. Buri was sprung from the frozen wastes of Niflheim, a country renowned for its perpetual cold and gloom. Borr eventually became the parent of Odin, Vili, and Vili, who are considered to be the three most significant gods in Norse mythology. They worked together to shape the world into what it is now. Their efforts are accountable for our existence. Borr was the father of several gods who were considered to be among the most powerful in the Norse pantheon, making him an important figure in Norse mythology. From the corpse of the gigantic Ymir, his sons Odin, Vili, and Vili were the ones who were responsible for creating the universe. It is said that they used his skull to construct the sky, his bones to build the mountains, and his blood to create the oceans. All of these things were made from his body. This origin story holds a significant place in Norse mythology and is frequently brought up in different types of tale. It demonstrates the influence that Borr's family has around the globe and their ability to mold the environment around them. Borr and the creation of the world. In this version of the creation myth, Borr, who was also the father of Odin, Vili, and Vili, played an important part. After the initial collision of fire and ice, which resulted in the creation of Ymir, the first giant and Audhumbla, the first cow, there was nothing but anarchy and darkness at the beginning of time. The first man and woman were born from the sweat that Audhumla's armpits produced while she was nursing Ymir with her breast milk. The gods, however, did not find this world of giants to be to their liking, so they devised a plan to establish their very own kingdom, which they named Midgard. Borr and his sons were extremely valuable contributors to our initiative. Odin, Vili, and Vili murdered Ymir and then used their remains to create the universe. They created the country from his flesh, the sea from his blood, and the heavens from his skull. All three came from him. They were the ones who initially gave the planet its form and its inhabitants, including the first plants, animals, and people. As a result, Borr and his sons ended up becoming the people responsible for bringing life and tales into Norse mythology. It is clear that Borr's part in the creation of the world played a crucial role, yet the connection he shared with his sons and the other gods was also critically significant. Borr was the father of Odin, Vili, and Vili. Odin, Vili, and Vili were the ones who were responsible for slaying the giant Ymir and constructing the universe from the body of Ymir. Borr was the father. As a result of this act of creation, Borr's sons were elevated to the position of the most powerful gods in the Norse pantheon, with Odin assuming the role of Allfather and becoming the ruler of Asgard. Borr maintained their reputation as a revered member of the pantheon of gods despite their position. His boys frequently sought his counsel on significant issues because they valued his experience and knew they could count on him for sound assistance. Borr's connections with the other gods further shed light on the complex power dynamics that exist throughout the Norse pantheon. It was well known that he had a close relationship with Frigg, who was also a powerful goddess in her own right and who was married to his son. Other gods, like Thor and Loki, respected Borr and frequently sought his counsel in order to learn from him. However, due to Loki's propensity for wreaking havoc and sowing conflict within the pantheon, Borr's relationship with the trickster god was fraught with difficulties. This illustrates the complex web of allegiances and alliances that exists among the gods, as well as the significance of preserving these connections for the sake of the Norse world. These connections would end up being very significant in the myths and tales that surrounded Borr and his sons. Get ready to be transported to a realm of gods, giants, and magic where heroes and villains clash in epic conflicts as you immerse yourself in the fascinating tales and epic sagas that surround Odin's father. These stories will captivate and enthrall you as they weave a compelling narrative around Odin's ancestor. Borr, the Norse mythological figure who is credited with creating life, was renowned not only for his formidable talents, but also for his shrewdness and his knowledge. Borr is said to have wed the goddess Bestla, and the couple went on to have 3 sons, Odin, Vili, and Vili and Vi. According to the traditions, Borr died. The part that Borr played in the origin of the world is often cited as one of the most well-known tales about him. According to a local legend, Borr and his sons played an important part in the development of the world as we know it today. It is thought that they were responsible for the creation of the first humans and bestowed intelligence on them. Borr was renowned for his bravery, and it is said that he was instrumental in many of the conflicts that took place between the gods and the giants. In Norse mythology, he is recognized as a revered person because of his brilliance and his ability to outsmart his opponents, both of which made him a deadly opponent and a revered hero. Borr's influence on the world of the gods is like a ripple in a pond. It will be felt long after his time has passed, and the guile and bravery he displayed will serve as a model for future generations of heroes. Borr, who was the father of Odin, Vili, and Vi, was an integral part of the process that led to the formation of the Norse pantheon and was responsible for the creation of the world. The tales and traditions that describe him as a knowledgeable and strong character, revered by gods and mortals alike, have ensured that his memory will carry on for generations to come. The importance of Borr in Norse mythology is not limited to the function that he plays as a creator. He is also remembered as a guardian of the gods who faced up to the powers of destruction and chaos that endangered the existence of the gods, and he is credited with saving their lives. His exploits are commemorated in tales that detail his fights against giants and other horrific monsters, as well as his part in negotiating a cease fire between the Aesir and the Vili. These tales also highlight his contribution to the formation of the ceasefire. Even in this day and age, Borr continues to be a symbol of strength, courage, and resolve. He encourages us to fight against the forces that attempt to destroy us and stand up for what we believe in. That's the end of the video. I hope you liked it. If you did, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.